what's going on, maniacs? You know who it is. Madman here. I know, right here, right here. Ooh, hey, how you doing? I know. Where's the Madman been? Madman's been busy. I haven't forgot about you guys. I ain't got lost. I ain't dead or any of that other fucking shit if there's anything going on or buzzing about me. I'm right here. Alright? Have no fear. Madman is here with some more answers and fucking stuff. But yeah, I've been busy, been working, been doing a lot of things, and I've already got some other videos shot. Honestly, I just hadn't really got around to editing them and putting them up yet, but they'll be coming, alright? So, I've had this question asked over and over and over, and it definitely makes a good video, and I've been saying I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, and finally I'm going to get around to doing it right now. And the question is, that I've been asked a lot, is, you know, it's usually from younger cats, you know, around high school age or whatever. And they're asking me, you know, hey, I really want to get into the greaser rockabilly scene, the culture and stuff. I want to be a part of it. I want to do it. But my parents don't understand it. They don't like it. They, you know, and there's probably all kinds of reasons and sets of parents or whatever that don't like it for this reason, that reason, or whatever. And I'm here to elaborate a little bit on maybe some of those reasons and how to go about resolving this issue. You dig? So let's go on the wacky, wild roller coaster of the madman's ideas and thoughts. So, alright. First off, whenever you encounter any kind of a problem, you have to first understand what the actual problem is and why it's a problem. If you don't understand those things, you're not going to be able to solve it. So first off, what I would suggest is, okay, we know the problem is your parents don't like you dressing like a greaser, doing the rockabilly thing. So that's the problem has been established, and you want to do it, right? But they don't want you to. So now we have to think about why. Why don't they want you to dress like a greaser or be a part of it? Now I'm sure that I'm not going to be able to cover every exact reason in the world why, but I'm going to cover a few basic ones and how to counter that and how to express why you want to be a part of this and what it's really all about. So one of the reasons I've seen posted is, why would you want to dress like a greaser? You know, what are you, stuck in a time warp? You know, it's not the 1950s anymore. Why would you want to dress like that? Now, dealing with that specific part of it, not the culture, because the culture is everything put together, but the actual style, the look, the thing that that you can identify as a greaser style, from the hair to the clothes and the way you wear them, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's an old style, yeah. It comes out of the late 40s and throughout the 50s into the early 60s. Yes, we've established that. And as for the time warp thing, what time warp? People act like it doesn't, the greaser culture has not lived on and stood the test of time, like it doesn't exist, that it just all of a sudden came out of nowhere. Like you had a whole bunch of people that just decided, oh, hey, we're just going to wear this and we're going to bring it back. We mean bring it back. It's been back. It's been around. It hasn't gone anywhere. Yeah, it goes underground sometimes and you don't hear or see much jive about it, but it's been there and it's never really gone away. There's always been greasers, you know what I mean? So that's something you can point out to them. There's always been greasers. It's not something that's gone away and come back. It's been around. There's been teenagers throughout the years that have done it. There's adults that, some of the original era guys never stopped doing it. They still stayed very much involved with it. So for the time warp argument, yeah, we're very aware that it's not the 1950s anymore. You really don't have to tell a modern day greaser that. We're very aware. We see it every day. From the little plastic import cars we see driving around, to the new celebrity that comes on the scene out of fucking nowhere with no talent, that takes all her clothes off and shakes her ass all over everybody's face and on a stage or wherever she can shake it. From the divorce rate going up like crazy, to the overabundance of plasticky Hollywood types running around, to the sensitive, your feelings matter, your opinions matter attitude, to the entitled, selfish, it's all about me attitude, to the crappy music with auto-tune and lyrics we can't understand. Yes, we're very aware that it's not 1950 anymore. Believe me. Now to tackle the style aspect of it, the look, the dress. Why would you want to dress that way? Well, if it really wasn't for the greasers, the original rock and roll rebels, the very first, rock and roll rebellious teenagers, a lot of the fashions and styles that regular people wear today, yeah, they wouldn't really exist, or they would have existed maybe along down the line somewhere at some time. That coat, that leather coat that maybe your uncle or your dad or somebody likes to wear. Yeah, at one point in time, wearing a leather jacket was considered rebellious, and you wore a hood if you wore one. So you can thank a greaser for that. The reason that, it's so acceptable to see people wear leather coats, from women to men. All the people that walk around in sneakers and jeans and t-shirts, and it's become very acceptable to just wear those things out in public. Yeah, you can thank a greaser for that as well, because that was not proper dress for teenagers, men, women, or anybody in the 1950s. Sport coat, tie, slacks, nice shoes, soft hat, those were along the lines of appropriate dress. Nice button-up shirts, nice slacks, nice, penny loafers. Yeah, that was what was considered standard and acceptable in the 1950s. So you can thank a greaser for that as well. For all those that like to express themselves with all kinds of crazy different hairstyles, from pompadours and mohawks and tri-hawks and, liberty spikes and everything else, yeah, you can thank a greaser for that as well. Because again, in the 1950s, sporting a pompadour and a ducktail, slick backs, and elephant's trunks and jelly rolls, and all the hairstyles that were considered crazy at that time, again, that was not standard or acceptable. Talk about music. When rock and roll first hit the scene, when it was classed as rock and roll, it was not accepted. That was the devil's music. It's sinful. That was not socially acceptable music. So all these rock artists that maybe your parents like and other people like that want to criticize the greaser culture, yeah, if you actually go back and look at some of the artists that you listen to or your parents listen to or whatever, and you trace it back over the years, who inspired them and who inspired the person that inspired them, yeah, it goes back to the 1950s and the rock and roll era. So thank a greaser and greasers and rockabilly and rock and roll artists for that as well. Does your mom like to wear jeans? Does your mom like to wear pants or trousers? Yeah, in the 1950s, that wasn't acceptable to do either. That was actually a pretty bold statement for women to wear pants, jeans, dungarees, trousers, whatever you want to call them. Holy shit. We can't have that now. They got to be in dresses and skirts. Oh, and those skirts better not be above the knee. You can thank a greaser for that. You can thank the 1950s generation for breaking a lot of those social standards. The era of the original rock and roll rebels. Essentially, people dress the way they want to dress. They're comfortable wearing what they want to wear. And a greaser is no different than anybody else. Okay, a modern era greaser likes the clothes and the styles and the fashions from that era. And we continue it on today. It's that simple. So let these points be known. Express them. Talk about it. Knowing history is very important, because you can link it back and you can bring it up and you can show the comparisons and how and why things started, because a lot of people don't know the history, and a lot of them don't really care to. Be educated. Know where the shit comes from. Know the lineage. Okay, another point that I've seen made. Mad Bandit, my parents don't want me to dress like a greaser because it has negative stereotypes. Okay, so does the greaser rockabilly culture have some negative stereotypes? Yes, it does. Does the greaser rockabilly culture's roots come from some very negative stereotypes? Yes, it does. And are there still some in the greaser rockabilly community that still carry on negative stereotypes? Yes, there are. Any culture or any group that you're in, you're always going to find people that are negative or bring a bad aspect to it. Bad apples, if you will, that spoil it for everybody else. As a whole, the greaser rockabilly community is actually a very friendly community. Okay, and it's also, I think, one of the healthier communities that you can be involved in. I would say overall, you're going to find more nice people in this community than you will bad. It's a pretty real community. You don't get a lot of fake people in it. or if you do, they don't manage. They don't last too long. It's a pretty clean and healthy community. Most greasers and rockabillys you see a lot of them as artists and car fabricators, mechanics. A lot of blue collar workers. Just average, everyday, regular people that work for a living, that have skills and talents and want to put them to good use. You find a lot of that in our community. It's a very real community. You don't find a lot of fakers, bullshitters, or anything like that. It is what it is. They are who they are. You're going to find a lot of that in this community. You're going to find people that you can hang out with, you can shoot the shit with, go get a beer with. Oh, your guys are young, don't be drinking beer. You know what I mean? And if you do, don't fucking tell me about it. I don't want to know. I don't care. Alright? Nothing against you or going out and having fun, but I'm not going to suggest anybody, that's young be smoking or drinking. I do those things. Those are personal choices. And no, if that's also another question. Oh, parents say, greasers smoke and they drink. Not every greaser smokes and drinks. Those are personal choices. Just like anybody else that goes into a bar or goes to a gas station to pick up a pack of cigarettes. They're vices, they're choices. Not everybody does it. Okay, that's again one of the negative stereotypes, that all greasers have to smoke or drink. No, you don't. If you don't want to smoke and drink, then don't smoke and drink. And if you don't already, I would suggest you don't. But at the end of the day, you are individual. You have rights. Well, when you're young, you really don't. You pretty much have to do what you're told because you're under 18. But when you do hit 18 and become an adult, yeah, you pretty much have rights to go and do as you damn well please, as long as it doesn't, inflict pain or cause damage to anybody's property, or basically anything that's not against the law, whatever. You know where I'm going with it. Do what you like, but I'm not going to suggest you do it. So basically, yes, there are negative stereotypes, but there's also a lot of really cool things involved in this. And I would suggest that you go ahead and show your parents the cool aspects of it, the art, the cars, the music. I think the music is very fun. It's very entertaining. It's a lot cleaner than the crap you're going to hear now. With everybody going on about making, don't give a shit about anybody, fuck everybody, just make money, bitches, hoes, rides, fucking mansions, fuck the world, piss on everything, whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? At least the rockabilly, rock and roll community is a lot more fun. You can go out and enjoy shows. They're a lot cleaner. It's not about, negative shit, negative aspects. It's not about doing drive-bys and popping people and, banging other dudes' girlfriends. And that ain't what this community is about. The greaser rockabilly culture is actually basically, it's a subculture and a counterculture to a lot of the crap we see nowadays that's become so acceptable. People that get into this don't dig what's out there, and they don't like what they're being told that they should like, and they want to go and like things that interest them. They have a brain, they can think for themselves. They don't have to sit in front of the TV and be told how to dress, who to listen to, what to be into, and what to think, what to feel, and what to do. They kind of make up their own minds and figure out what they like. Another point that I also want to make. When you're a teenager, you're exploring. That's natural. Okay, we knew guys that wanted to get into the greaser rockabilly culture, and they'd come hang out with us, and they'd get a part of it, and they've kind of figured out, okay, this isn't for me, and they'd move on to something else. That's no problem. That's fine. If this isn't for you, then it's not for you. Do what you like. Do what makes you happy. But it is natural and normal for teenagers to want to figure out what they like and what they fit in. It's not like you're born knowing what you're going to like and what you're going to fit into and what you want to be a part of. Nobody knows that coming into it. That's not part of the deal. It's not part of the package. You learn that as you go. And the only way to learn is by experiencing it. Going out and doing it and seeing what it's all about firsthand. You can read books all day. You can have a fucking college professor tell you all day what something is about. But until you have boots on the ground, you ain't going to know shit about it. Because it's a whole different thing. Textbook versus real life, two very different things. So explore. If you want to get into the greaser thing and figure out what it's all about, and if it's for you, well, get into it. And for you to do that is okay and natural. Now make sure you're going into it with the right reasons behind it. Don't think you're just going to be going and becoming a greaser and trying to start a street gang to go beat people up and have rumbles and steal and knock off gas stations or whatever the fuck. Okay, those are some very negative stereotypes, and most greasers don't do things like that. Okay, it's just not a part of it. There's a small element of bad seeds that take things way too far, and they do stupid things just like everybody else. But all the greasers I've met, including even the gangs and some of the toughest guys out there, even they didn't go to some of those really crazy extremes. They weren't even about that. All right? So just keep that in mind. But before I let you go, I just want to make one more point. Again, figure out why your parents don't like it, and then show them reasons why it's not bad. What your intentions are behind it. Don't go out there getting in trouble with it. Don't bring a negative light and a negative aspect to it. Go out and do positive. Go out and do good. You know what I mean? Be you. Do what you want to do. If you want to be in the greaser thing and you're into hot rods and you're into becoming a mechanic someday, and you want to do auto body, or you just want to work at a factory, whatever it is you want to do, you want to be a doctor, do what you want to do. We've got a lot of really cool, diverse people in the greaser rockabilly, community. You've got all different races involved in this. You've got all different kinds of professions. We've got cops. We've got, firemen and military. We've got factory workers. We have artists. We have mechanics. Everything from white collar, blue collar, service industry. We've got all kinds of people that are very involved in this community. And we all love it for the same reasons. We like the style, we like the music, we like the cars, we like the history, the culture. Okay? That's what we're into. It's what we do. And we all come together and we all make it work. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and stop rambling on and ranting. I hope this was informative and it's helped answer your questions on maybe some approaches that you can take to get your parents more on board, to be more accepting of what you're doing. Also, don't forget to remind them when they were young. They were looking to figure out where they fit into as well. Especially if your parents got some of those old wacky pictures with different crazy hairstyles, or the leg warmers, or different funny looking fashion, or depending on how old your parents are or whatever. That time your dad went out and got one of them Don Johnson suits from fucking, Miami Vice. Remind him of that. You know what I mean? People explore. They want to try different things. They want to see where they fit into, what they dig, what they like, and that's okay. You dig? Alright, so, if you don't know, get a clue, get a brew, get a rock and roll tattoo. Hang loose and be safe. The Madman's out. I got more stuff coming. Stay tuned, and I'll catch you on the next one.